continuing today with three-dimensional shapes. If you don't have your book ready, go get your book, pause the video. When you have your book, turn it to page 765. Today we're going to be talking about faces, edges, and vertices on three-dimensional shapes. So the first thing they want us to do on page 765 is just to connect the dots. So connect 1 to 2. Notice how I'm making nice straight lines. 3 to 4, to 5, to 6, to 7, to 8, to 9, to 10, to 11. What shape did we just make? I can see that it's made out of a lot of squares, but when we connect all those squares together, we end up with a cube. Okay, go ahead and connect those and write the word cube on your page. And then you can just set your pencil down for a minute. So this week, since we're working with three-dimensional shapes, I pulled out my three-dimensional shapes to use so that we could look at them. We're learning about the faces, edges, and vertices of these shapes. So we're going to take a look at the cube first. Everywhere that we see a flat spot on it is a face. So this is a face, this is a face, this is a face, this is a face, this is a face. Everywhere that two faces meet, there's an edge. So this is an edge, this is an edge, this is an edge, this is an edge. If we turn it, we can see there's an edge here, and an edge here, and an edge here. Any spot on the shape that has three faces or more that meet together, they meet at a corner, and we call this a vertex. Okay, so everywhere that the faces meet is a vertex. So if we're taking a look at our cube, we have face, edge, vertex. Face, edge, vertex. Okay, and it's like that for all of the shapes that we have. This is a square pyramid. You can see it's made up of triangles on the top and a square on the bottom. And it's the same for this shape. It has a face, 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 edge, 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 face, edge, 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 vertex, 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 vertex. Even our cylinder has face, face, edge, but no vertex. There's no corners on this shape, so no vertex. Page 766, they want us to count the faces, edges, and vertices of the different three-dimensional shapes. They give you a drawing up at the top to remind you of which are the faces, which are the edges, and which are the vertexes. I'm going to be using our three-dimensional shapes to count them. I think it's a little bit easier because I can actually hold it in my hand. If you have anything at home that are these shapes, you can certainly go get them. You can pause the video if you need to, and you can hold them in your hand and count along with me. So the first one we're going to do is a cube. They want us to do the faces first. Those are all of the flat parts on the shape. Think of it like your face on your body, okay? It's going to be the part that's facing out towards you. That's why we call it a face. So here we go. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces. These cubes have an insert that comes out so that I can actually see the faces separately. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces. The next thing it wants us to count is the edges. Keep in mind that the edges are anywhere that two faces connect. So I'm going to count the edges on the top, the bottom, and then the sides. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then the vertices. So the vertices again are everywhere that 3 or more faces meet and it looks like a corner. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Our next shape is a rectangular prism. I believe when we counted it earlier, it had the same number of faces, edges, and vertices as a cube. And that kind of makes sense because a rectangular prism is kind of like a cube that's been stretched out a little bit. But let's check it to make sure. So we're going to count the faces first. I'm going to do the top, the bottom, and then the sides. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and the edges, everywhere that 2 faces meet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then I'm going to count the vertices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Our next shape is a square pyramid. Okay, the reason they call it a square pyramid is because the bottom of it is in a square shape. There's also a shape called a triangular pyramid. That one is made up of all triangles. It doesn't have a square on the bottom. It has a triangle on the bottom. And it has 3 triangles that make up the sides. The square pyramid has a square on the bottom and 4 triangles that make up the sides. So the faces, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles and a square, so that's 5. And the edges, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to count the ones on the bottom, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the vertices, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, our last shape is a sphere. A sphere is like a ball, and we know that a sphere does not have any edges because there's no corners that meet. It does sides that meet. It does not have any vertices because there are no corners. And the face of it, it's going to be like it's not flat, so we don't have any faces on it either. Okay, so then they want to know what figure has 6 equal faces. So we know that that's the cube. There are 6 faces on a cube and they are all the same size. So the cube is going to be the shape with 6 equal faces. Go ahead and try your on your own, which is page 267. Let me know if you need any help with this. I'll be happy to meet up with you and help you. Go ahead and get your work done. Let me know if you need help and have a good afternoon.